Hello guys, I'm at London Heathrow Airport today, flying on Iberia flight 3167 to Madrid, which is currently operated by Iberia's Airbus A350 aircraft. I'm also flying in business class for the first time today, so I really do look forward to that. I hope you do enjoy this trip report. It's the first of a three-part series, and if so, please do feel free to leave a like, comment, or even subscribe on this video down below. Thank you. So without further ado, let's roll the tape. Welcome to Heathrow. Our trip report today starts at London Paddington Station, which is renowned for its beautiful architecture as well as its Brunel traditional days, which have been a huge part of the Great Western history. As we take a look around the station, you can see much of the old history of the station as well as the modernisation that's occurred. It is a wonderful new station with brand new trains, as you can see here, and it is a great place to be able to spend the morning, to be able to start your journey or anywhere that you're going to be flying from, with Heathrow Express operating fast services every 20 minutes to London Heathrow Terminal 5 as well as London Heathrow Terminals 2 and 3 when with a connection to Terminal 4. As you can see, here is a Heathrow Express Class 332 unit arriving now from Heathrow at London Paddington. This will be my train that I take to London Heathrow Terminal 5. The morning have been a bit interesting for trains. There have been broken down trains and whatnot, but just as I arrived, trains were getting back on track, so I was very lucky with that. These units are getting quite old now. They were built in the 90s to operate on the Heathrow Express route that started out of London Heathrow. They are impeccably kept and maintained. The interior is absolutely superb, and you'll be able to see a first class or business class experience on this Class 332 unit very shortly, so I do hope you enjoy that. So here we are, guys, the Iberia Airbus A350 cabin. I did just skip through that last part quickly because the flight attendant was quite rude and decided to put me into premium economy rather than business class, so that was partly why I'm not very happy with this flight on a whole. The flight attendants kind of ruined it for the rest of the, for me personally, I didn't think that I was very welcomed in the cabin, but I'm trying to make the most of the situation. It was a beautiful cabin, as you can see. The view outside was very nice, the weather was stunning. And the whole cabin was very well lit, had a beautiful atmosphere, and the TV screens were really, really big. There's a nice little coat hanger there that you can put your coats on, as well as a little device that you can pull out of the seat that allows you to control the in-flight entertainment system, which is really cool. I must admit, even though this flight was only a couple of hours long, it was really cool to be able to have all of that nice little perks there in the cabin. All the in-flight literature there, just at the bottom of the seat, which is quite nice and easy access. Some nice places to be able to put your sunglasses, as well as the rest of your equipment. And here's a nice light, a reading light that you can change with 3 different settings for brightness, which is quite nice when they did in the cabin on a night flight, especially with the flights to New York and stuff. And there you go, some charging equipment and a usual pin for a typical British or European layout to be able to plug or charge your phones in. And there we go, so that's pretty much the cabin for you. There's my GoPro just hanging up, as well as the seat and everything that it offers. It was a beautiful, nice seat, very comfy, and I really did enjoy it. Anyway, so here we go, back to the footage.
You through the nearest exit, which could be behind you. All exits are equipped with automatic inflatable slides. Chalecos. Los chalecos salvavidas están situados debajo de sus asientos. Para su colocación, introduzca la cabeza por la abertura.
guys, today is Thursday the 26th of July and I'm in my hotel in Madrid city centre. Unfortunately I wasn't able to film my final review of yesterday's trip report on the Iberia A350 as I arrived very late at night owing to a problem with the carousel to collect my luggage. I've had this issue twice now with the carousel at airports, but this time was considerably better than my previous time that I had an issue at Lester B. Pearson Airport in Toronto, which, as much as my cat says that I love Canada, I do. I love the country. It is one of the most incredible places to visit in the world. I will put that out there. However, they need to do something about the luggage system in Lester B. Pearson Airport, because I arrived very late at night. There was nobody about when I was there. It was insane because I couldn't find my luggage for love nor money. There was nothing there, and I had nobody there to help me. Everyone had gone home, so I was in a state of dismay. I didn't really know what to do. All of my belongings were in there. So personally, Air Canada, brilliant airline to fly, but Lester B. Pearson Airport, until they do something about that luggage system, then please avoid. Honestly, it's a brilliant city to go to, but flying to Billy Bishop's Airport, brilliant little airport at Toronto there, right in the heart of the city, and you get past the CN Tower as you're coming in. So yeah, there's a little bit about that. Anyway, so what did I make of the flight as a whole, the Iberia A350? Indeed, it was very hyped up. I'd never been on an A350 before. So I was interested ultimately in seeing what they offered, seeing what Iberia offered, seeing how they decided to personalise the A350 towards what they wanted for the customer, for the average Spanish customer, the average English customer, and exactly what would be made from that. Ultimately, the flight was decent. The cabin crew were nice, but I've had much better flights, such as with Air Canada. They were much more friendly and welcoming me on board. As soon as the woman saw my business class ticket and saw that I wasn't wearing a suit, she immediately changed her tone. And as much as you could be Spanish, you could be English, you could be Portuguese, you could be Mexican, that comes across to the customer. So I noticed that she was speaking Spanish, and she was speaking to a customer in front of me with a suit, and she told him to go to this seat in business class, and she escorted him there. She came back, had a look at my ticket, and said, "Second on the left." That was it. Literally just second on the left. I mean, okay, yeah. Oh, what does it look like? My parents have paid for this ticket. I have spent probably a lot more time earning this money than that guy in front of you. And yet you want to judge me? I seriously didn't feel very happy about that. So that initial impression led me to believe that Iberia will be a carrier I'm not flying again. And I'm not looking forward to this BA flight, ultimately. I've never flown with BA. I've never flown from Terminal 5 before. I've never flown with BA before all of this. And I'm just going to see whether this OneWorld thing is actually worth being part of, because there's OneWorld benefits and stuff like that. Unfortunately, so far, they're exactly what I thought. OneWorld are just not the good alliance out there. There's Sky Team out there, there's Star Alliance, who Air Canada operate with. Brilliant airlines that are really, really good. So why does Iberia have to let everyone down? Why do they have to judge people like that? I mean, it may only be that one flight. I could go on them next week and it'd be a completely different flight. However, it's very hard, essentially, to be able to be me and go on an aircraft and enjoy a trip report when constantly the cabin crew are judging you. So that was a major downside with that. Well, what about the aircraft? The A350 is very nice indeed. It was a smooth flight with hardly any turbulence, and that's exactly what you need when you're at the end of the day and you just want to relax with a glass of champagne in business class, relax your seat back all the way, and just enjoy the view of the new winglet, the huge new Iberia winglet on the Airbus A350. And it was exactly like that on that flight. Ultimately, the aircraft didn't disappoint. It was exactly what I thought. It was exactly what I knew it would be like. The A350 swooping through the skies like nothing on earth, and everyone admits it looks superb when it does it. Aesthetically, it looks incredible. I'd spent the week just before this at Farnborough Air Show, where I watched an Airbus captain, who's just retired now, fly the last Airbus A350 test flight out of Farnborough to everyone, the public and beyond. And seeing that thing bank as it went across was the most incredible thing in the world. I mean, I will never get a sensation like that. And sure as hell, when we took off from Heathrow, you just went up, 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 and then a little bit of a bang, and then that was it. So it was a bit disappointing, but it is a really good fly. It's just not a 787. I'll put that out there. It is not a 787, and I don't think it ever will be. Unfortunately, as much as 787s have their problems with the engines and the Rolls-Royce engines being a huge issue with Virgin Atlantic and all the other airlines, but unfortunately these issues are occurring, sadly, on such a really good aircraft. I thought that my 787 flight to Canada was possibly the best flight I'd ever had. Although by the time we got to Canada I was a bit annoyed because we had gone down in speed very quickly and we had a massive headwind coming into Canada, so it took us about an extra 45 minutes, so we were delayed landing. But there was definitely a sense something was missing from yesterday. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, what it was. I just felt a little bit lacklustre in the cabin of the Airbus A350. I mean, I was in business class. I'd never been in business class before. It was quite, I had butterflies in my stomach. I have butterflies in my stomach now because I've got two new aircrafts that I've never been on before. And also, how the hell am I going to get to Madrid tomorrow and stuff like that? Different things are going on in my head. But I felt just a little bit empty. Maybe the cabin crew could have made an improvement with that. I felt that if I was flying with an airline like Qatar Airways or an airline like Etihad, maybe not Etihad, depends on your view, I may have had a different experience. Honestly, I may have had a different experience. But this was that anyway. The 787 is a better fly. I've flown the 787 before. It is ultimately, your ears don't pop as much. The cabin pressure is much better. The windows are nicer with the shades that you can dim, rather than the blinds that you have to pull down on the A350, which has still got blinds, yeah. But the seat in business class was comfy and would suit me happily for 10 hours, 10, 12, 14 hours. And overall the flight was good, but it wasn't my best. Honestly, it just wasn't my best. Something was definitely missing from that flight. I'm not sure what it was, but something was definitely missing. And I'm hoping that the 787 tomorrow, if I feel it on that flight, if I feel that I've got everything I need and that it's all there, it might be the A350. But we'll see. Anyway, tomorrow is the 27th of July and I fly on my second Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner, the first one being Air Canada, C-Foxtrot November Oscar India. I remember it off by heart. And tomorrow I fly on my second one. It's meant to be Charlie Bravo Golf Lima or something. It's a LATAM LATAM livery rather than LAN livery 787-9. It's come from Santiago, goes as LA704 to Madrid, stops over in Madrid for a few hours as I've seen it today, and then it goes onwards to Frankfurt, which is where I'm going to be going with it. So I'm really excited to see what LATAM offer, see if it's any different, see if I can wear a shirt or maybe a t-shirt in business class and not get judged the shit out of. I want to relax. That guy in the suit wants to relax. This little girl in the chair next to me, like I had, she wants to relax. We all just want to have a good flight. Why can't you treat people equally, Iberia? I really thought that was unimpressive, and I've heard people have had similar experiences with BA, that you can walk in business class and they'll treat you like crap if you're not dressed in a suit. One other thing I was going to say, quickly on that note, the Terminal 5 business class lounges, what is going on? Are they seriously selling business class for $5.99 or something like that? Because I walked in and there was not a seat free. There were easily 90, 100 people in that room at that time. It was packed. There was hardly any food left. They kept replenishing it. Kept going. I couldn't even get there. So I spent about 30 minutes in that lounge, watched my Iberia flight come in, 09 left, and then I left too. You know, so it's... I didn't try the other lounge. This was the Northern Galleries lounge at T5. I'm sure some people will say if you go in the Concorde room it would be a lot quieter. I really doubt it. There's about 1 million businessmen in this world that couldn't afford the Concorde room easily. So I think it's a little bit like the first class lounge at London Euston when I did my Virgin Trains West Coast trip report. The first class lounge there was absolutely rammed, simply because there were so many people that can get so cheap tickets now. I reckon it's the same in the airlines. I thought it was once a special thing that you could fly business class. I've never flown it in my life. It was a huge thing for me. And yet I was let down even on my birthday. So, well, that's how it works really. So I'll be comparing tomorrow on the 787-9, I'll be comparing that with the A350 directly, and seeing what the A350 can do that the 787 can't, what the A350 can't do that the 787 can. Like mood lighting, adjustable windows, better fly, better air quality, better seats, better seat pitch. Let's not go into the details, but they're just 6 reasons I've come up with on the top of my head why I believe that, you know, the 787 might be superior. I've already flown one. They're really good. The A350, not so much. I think it looks brilliant. Just doesn't pull it off when it flies though. Anyway, thanks for watching this trip report. If you have enjoyed, please leave a like and a comment and subscribe for more content. I do intend to make these last final reviews as long as 12 to 15 minutes because it's an in-depth view on exactly what my flight experience has been like. Some people like to trim it down to just 5 minutes and skip all over the bad facts, but then you don't know what the actual thing's all about, do you? So it's only through this in-depth conversation that I managed to get over to you my feelings, what's happened with me, little bits of information that you probably didn't need to know, like what happened at Toronto Pearson Airport and stuff like that. But I just try to do it just because I like doing it, and just because I like letting people know exactly what they're getting themselves into. Somebody might watch this video, like you maybe, and go, "Oh, Iberia A350, that looks really good," and then hear from me that if you want to wear a t-shirt, you might get mugged off. You never know, it could just be that cabin crew. They might have had a long day, maybe, you never know. I don't know what's going on, they don't know what's going on, so hey-ho, it is what it is. Yeah, so please do leave a like and a comment, and do subscribe for more content. There will be lots more content on its way. Don't worry about that. I will be making sure that there is content. It may not be regular, but there will be content on its way, so don't worry. This channel is going places. I really hope so. And I do appreciate all the support that you give me. Facebook, I've got a Facebook page. Just follow me on Twitter. I've got Instagram pages galore. Anyway, it'll all be listed in the description, so if you do want to have a look there, it will all be listed there. And you can go and enjoy and see what I'm up to next. Also check me out on BA97, which is a flight tracking website that you can put your flights up and your seats, what you're doing, so you can see what flights I've booked on. Montego Bay in September. I'm really looking forward to it on the Virgin 747, so yeah, that's a little bit of a teaser there. Anyway, so I'll be seeing you next time on LM Trip Reports. I'm Leo Martin, this is LM Trip Reports, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye bye.